When I took the job at the funeral home, I never expected it to be anything more than a quiet gig. It was the kind of job where the silence was meant to be comforting, but I quickly learned that silence can be deceiving. It was the first time I heard it, a whisper so faint I thought it was the wind sneaking through the cracks. But as I leaned closer to the coffin, the whisper became a plea, a voice begging for help. My heart pounded as I stumbled back, forcing myself to rationalize it as a trick of the mind, a figment of my imagination. But deep down, I knew something was terribly wrong. I tried to ignore the voices, chalking it up to the stress of a new job, but they grew louder and more desperate with every passing night. Each coffin seemed to have its own story, a different voice pleading for freedom, for someone to listen. I started to lose sleep, haunted by the cries that filled the air as soon as darkness fell. My co-workers noticed my unease, but their reassurances did nothing to quell the terror creeping under my skin. I felt trapped in a waking nightmare, surrounded by the dead who refused to rest. Desperate for answers, I began to investigate the histories of the deceased. What I found was a chilling pattern. Each voice belonged to someone who had died under mysterious circumstances, their deaths shrouded in secrecy and doubt. The more I uncovered, the more certain I became that these souls were trapped, unable to move on. I realized that the funeral home was a prison not only for the bodies but for the spirits who had been wronged. My heart ached with the weight of their stories, and I knew I had to help them find peace. The night I decided to take action, the air felt different, charged with a sense of urgency. Armed with resolve, I approached the first coffin, whispering words of comfort and promises of justice. As I moved from coffin to coffin, the voices grew quieter, replaced by a palpable sense of relief. But just as I thought I was freeing them, a new voice emerged, a sinister, mocking tone that sent chills down my spine. "You think you can save them?" It taunted, echoing through the room. My blood ran cold as I realized that I had only scratched the surface of a much darker secret, one that threatened to consume not just the souls within the coffins, but my own.